Thank you. This is like therapy, guys. And your next person who's going to grace the stage this evening, he's known as Dr. Jazz. Please give a warm welcome to the stage to Elazar Brandt.
Thank you, David. I want you to know it is a great honor and privilege for you to hear me tonight. I'm world famous. You've all heard of me, right? Well, I'm famous in places that are actually in the world. Mostly sort of here in Jerusalem, I guess. Well, the truth be known, it's actually mostly here in the basement. So here I am. This month, March, I'm celebrating 18 years since my aliyah.
Is he gonna play?
Woo! No.
Yeah, we got any new Olim here? Any old Olim? Any people? Okay, thank you. Well, I usually ask the new Olim why you made aliyah, but I'll tell you why I made aliyah. I made aliyah because I wanted to be a settler. And I want you to know that it didn't take me long at all to fulfill my dream, because in no time at all, I settled for a low-paying job. I settled for a tiny apartment, and I settled for living in Israel without a car. Yeah, I got so into the Zionist thing, that I even painted a green line down the center of my apartment. Because I wanted to be able to say, I live over the green line. There it is. Yeah, one thing I have accomplished, though, is I do occupy more territory here than most people. Trying to do something about that, but not very hard. No, but I did accomplish something else. I mean, it's amazing how much you accomplish when you make aliyah. But I set out to prove that you can make aliyah from America with no money in middle age and not starve to death. How am I doing? Okay. So you see, there's nothing to be afraid of. Yeah, I mentioned I have a tiny apartment, but most people when they come home to their apartment, they enter it. But I come home and I put mine on. So people measure apartments in square meters. Mine's 40 meters, mine's 80 meters, mine's 120 meters. Mine's a 52 long, okay? Yeah. But when you've been here for so long, it gets a little bit strange going back to America. And, as the last couple of years, we like to go back to America in December. And, because I'm a musician, December's a slow work time. And so... I go back, but I just don't understand. I walk down the street in the United States and little kids are jumping into my lap and telling me what they want for Christmas. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that one out. Hanukkah, that's another story. Hanukkah, right? We celebrated a few months ago. That's where we try to get where we celebrate the time when they found one little jar of oil, only enough for one day, but it lasted in the temple for 8 days. I'm trying to get this to work in my car. So far I haven't been successful. But why not? Israel's land of miracles, right? So why not? You can always hope. And this month we have a great holiday coming up. We have a holiday where you get to drink so much that you can't tell the difference between Rosie O'Grady and St. Patrick, right? It's on my aliyah day too, St. Patrick's Day. Right? No, but there's another holiday too this month. It's the holiday when we celebrate our victory over the Persian despot who wants to destroy all the Jews. Not Haman. I'm talking about Rouhani. Right? I wonder what we're going to eat when he goes. Right. Rouhani Tashin? Oh, I don't know. We should just thank goodness that Ahmadinejad got deposed before the events that culminate in the celebration of a new Purim, right? You thought Achashverosh was hard to say. Right? Well, let's see how many Ahmadinejad Jabbatashin you can eat. Yeah, well, another landmark day in our modern history is 9/11. You know, where were you on 9/11? You remember where were you on 9/11? Anybody?
Algebra. I was waking up from, waking up.
You're waking up? Okay. Yeah, you know, everybody always asks me, where were you on 9/11? I finally realized why they're asking me this. They think I did it. I'll tell you, that's one rap they'll never pin on me. I have an alibi. I have witnesses. Wasn't me. No. Well, but I like to talk about one of my favorite subjects. And that's a subject I've spent many years doing research and experimentation. It's a subject that's very close to my heart. My doctor says a little too close. But that is the subject of food. Thank you. Yeah, you know that now I'm from America, right? Americans have our ideas about food. And we tend to forget that the rest of the world doesn't always see things the way we do. You know, for instance, in France, you can get the best steak in the world, right? And you'll enjoy it very much if you can find it on the plate behind the parsley. You know, because in France, they're not into quantity, right? They believe in the quality, right? Now, I don't know what happens, you know, if it got any smaller. I mean, we're going to start having scratch and sniff plates. But, you know, America is different, right? America, it's all about the quantity, right? We don't care how good the food is. We just want a lot of it, right? Did you ever hear how Jews in America complain about food? They go to a restaurant, the food was terrible, and the portions were tiny. Like, what do you want, bigger portions of terrible food? Yes, that's what we want, exactly, that's it. Bigger portions of terrible food. So, but, you know, the problem is that in America we don't like to admit that anything is small, right? And so there's no such thing as a small anything. And, you know, I went to a restaurant once and I asked for a small Coke. They brought me a glass of Coke. I went back a couple days later, I asked for a large Coke. They brought me the same size glass of Coke. So I got curious and I looked at the menu. Well, you know what? There is no small Coke on the menu. So when I asked for the small one, they brought me the large one because the large one was the small. There was only large and extra large on the menu. And when I asked for the large one, they brought me the large one, which was the same as the small one because there was large and extra large, and that was the large one. Right? Did anybody understand that?
Yeah.
Yes? Would you mind explaining it to me? I'm still trying to figure it out. So my favorite kind of restaurant in America, though, is the kind that anywhere else in the world it would be called something innocuous like a buffet. Right? Not in America. No, in America they put a big sign over the door that says, all you can eat. I don't know about you, but I take that as a personal challenge. You know, you want to see all I can eat? I'll show you all I can eat. Let me at that place. They don't like guys like me in those places. So, you know, but and then there's the health food version of the all-you-can-eat restaurant, right? And the sign says, all you should eat. Which is really the same as all you can eat, but with guilt. Right? And Jews understand about guilt, right? So, you know, but they talk about all you can eat, all you should eat, but they don't say anything about all you can drink. You know why? Because the drinks aren't included. You have to pay separate for the drinks. So, and I you know, I still can't figure out this drink thing. I still can't figure it out. You know, because they have 4 sizes of drinks. They have the large, which is the small one. And they have the extra large, and then they have the giant, and then they have the start building the ark. You know, and this is $1, $2, $3, $4, right? And whichever one you can get, you can take it to the fountain and fill it up as many times as you want. So what idiot would get to start building the ark size for $4 when you can get the large one, which is the small one, and take that for $1 and fill it up all you want? Who would do that? What, do I look like I want a small drink? You know, bring me a bucket, all right? Bring me a barrel. You think I want to get up every 2 seconds to fill my glass? What's $4? But my favorite place is a restaurant in LA. And in this place, you go into the restaurant and there's a sign over the cashier, and it says, "Please consume all food on premises." Now, maybe it's me, but there's a lot of food on the premises, even for me. I went to the manager, I said, you know, I've heard of all you can eat, but don't you think this is going just a little bit too far? Anyway, I haven't figured out how it's possible. You know, because every time you take some food off of the the buffet table, 10 guys come out of the kitchen and fill it up. I mean, it's not fair. They got you outnumbered. Anyway, the struggles of living in America, right? So, anyway, one of the great blessings that happened to me in Israel is that I met my wife. My second wife, not my first wife. She was already gone. So, but you know, and here she is, my current wife. and she's a real doll. But you know, I got to tell you that it wasn't easy. You know, because I was married the first time. I married very young, and I was married for almost 20 years, and I got divorced when I was close to 40 years old, and I got to tell you that when you think about trying to get back into the dating scene at the age of 40, they don't tell you that between high school and the age of 40, somebody changed all the rules. You know, has anybody experienced this? No, you're lucky, right? It's a madhouse out there. You know, I mean, when I was in high school, if you want to ask a girl out, you ask her. She wants to go with you, she says yes. If she doesn't want to go with you, she says no. You know, no problem. Nobody's feelings are hurt, nothing, you know. Now, the girls say yes when they mean no, they say no when they mean yes. The poor guys don't know what's going on. I asked one girl out, she changed the subject completely and started talking about global climate change. Technically, what she said was, "I'll go out with you when hell freezes over." And I said to her, "Well, gee, that sounds like it could take a long time. Couldn't we do anything sooner than that?" She said, "Not in this lifetime." So I thought, well, gee, at least I know I have a great social life waiting for me when I die. I did manage to get engaged once, back in Los Angeles before I made aliyah. It did happen. And it was great. She was 5 feet tall, weighed 90 pounds. We looked like Rocky and Bullwinkle. Yeah. So it was, you know, maybe it wasn't meant to be, but I don't know. We were doing okay. And then we went out for dinner one night to a Chinese restaurant. Big mistake, big mistake. Stay away, never mind the kashrut, but stay away from the Chinese restaurants when you're engaged. You know, because we had a nice dinner, and then for dessert comes the fortune cookies. And she opens her fortune cookie, and what do you think it says? "His heart was yours from the moment you met." I know it's not funny, but it's nice, isn't it? You know, have a little feeling here. You know, isn't that nice? You know what mine said? "Get out now before it's too late." Yeah, you think that's funny, but it's a true story. It really happened to me. So I did. You can't argue with the fortune cookie, right? I mean, the fortune cookie knows all. So I got out. But I thought, okay, soon after that I moved to Israel, living in Jerusalem. I figure, you know, nice Jewish boy. You know, how hard can it be to find a nice Jewish girl in Jerusalem? 12 years later, when I had practically given up all hope, I met the girl who figured out how to make it work. And here she is. Right? Yeah, we met, chance meeting at a bar mitzvah, and I asked her out, and she had a plan. See, every time before we went out, she always went to the dentist. I guess she figured there's nothing like a good root canal to make me seem like a hot date. Right? But I guess it worked because we fell in love very quickly, and soon I was thinking about how I'm going to ask her to marry me. And I thought, I know, this time I'm going to get the fortune cookies working for me. So I stacked the deck. I ordered my own fortune cookies, kosher fortune cookies from a company in Indiana, where you can put the message in whatever you wanted to say. And so I ordered them, and I said I wanted to say in Hebrew, English, and Dutch, because she's from Holland, right? Krina, I love you, will you marry me? And so they sent the fortune cookies over, and I made arrangements with an Asian restaurant here in Jerusalem to serve them with dessert when I bring her for dinner. Now, do I know that the Asian restaurants in Jerusalem don't serve fortune cookies? They don't even know what a fortune cookie is, right? I said, look, just put it on the plate and bring us some and make believe it comes with the dessert, okay? Never mind what it is. And so I brought Krina to dinner there that night, and we had a nice dinner, and it was time for dessert, and they come with the fortune cookies and on the plate, and Krina looks at them and says, hey, what are those? She doesn't know what a fortune cookie is either. I said, I don't know, some kind of fortune cookie it looks like. Open it up and see what it says. So she breaks up the end of it, and she sees on the slip of paper her name, Krina. And she said, wow, these things must be really accurate. So I said, well, go ahead, open it, pull the slip out, see what it says. And so she opened it up and it says, Krina, well, I love you, will you marry me? And she thought for a minute, and she said yes. To the waiter. No, not to him, to me. Now we got that straightened out. So anyway, marriage is an adventure, when you enter into it later in life. It's enough of an adventure early in life, but later in life you get set in your ways, and you have this interesting problem of communication. Because, you're single for so long, and there's I, and there's you, and all of a sudden you have this new entity called we. And we is a problem. It's a kind of a collective pronoun. So you never really know who we is talking about. Right? For instance, I think that we should clean the house has a very different meaning from I think we should go out for dinner. So, but that's not all to the communication problem, It's like trying to get things done by committee, right? You don't know who's talking about what. I remember our first Shabbat, Erev Shabbat, and we fixed a nice dinner, a nice new home after a honeymoon, and Krina says to me, Elazar, it would be really nice if there were flowers on the Shabbat table. Now, how many of you are married? You guys are married. You've been through this, right? Right? You see, because she thinks she said, Elazar, in the future, would you please get flowers and put them on the table for Shabbat? That's what she thinks she said. But what I heard was, gee, it would be really nice if there were flowers on the Shabbat table. Right? And I agree with that completely. Yeah, it would be really nice if there were flowers on the Shabbat table. Somebody should go get flowers and bring them and put them on the Shabbat table. Right? I think we should do that. Yeah, so, it takes a long time to get all that straightened out. And then there's the cultural differences, Krina's from Holland, Dutch people are very frugal. And, Krina thinks that chad pa'ami means you buy it once. Everybody know what chad pa'ami is here? Right? We have service for 12, okay? A couple of years ago, she inherited her paper plates from her grandmother. Yeah, so anyway, we have our adventures, but she's great. And love her, and I tell her every now and then, Karina, I love to be with you and all that, but every now and then, couldn't I have a night out with the guys? And she changes the subject completely and talks about global climate change. Yes, thank you. Well, if you'll excuse me now, I've got to go finish my dinner. There's still food on the premises which I have not yet consumed. So thank you very much, and put your hands together for your host, David Jaffe. Here he is.